Oh yes, last year I spent a lot of time sailing around Croatia. It was a very nice season. So I test all the things inside Alos, I test the boat, I test the sails, and all went well. But after this fantastic summer, more work was planning to do in the winter. And now you will see this episode. I do a lot of stuff, but this is very important because I fix some problems inside the furniture of Alos. So enjoy this video. This is the bathroom door. As you can see, the color has faded with the sun, and there are some beatings on the wood caused by me and the previous owner. Now it's time to fix all that and to get a very nice new door. You will see all the operation. This is the other part of the table, another things that I need to fix. Also in the table there are some chips on the wood that I need to fix. So it's time to disassemble all the hinges and all the screw, the bolts, everything's in the doors before start to sanding them, and after that matching the color and varnish again. There are a lot of things to take out before do this work and start to sand, and those doors are 30 years old and I want bring back to the original shape. This is the table, another part of the boat that I need to fix. You can see is ruined with the use, but this is not visible because it's under the table. After having removed and inserted the screw several times, the seat has dilated a little, so I have to recreate the support for the screw so they grip and remain firmly fixed. You can use hardwood and some glue, and after that you put inside the small piece of wood and break. After that you have a perfectly new base for the new screw. This takes a lot of time to do, but I want that my table stay there for many years. You can use also the hammer to put very deep the piece of wood inside the holes, and after the glue will dry, it's time to sand and make flat the surface. If you look your doors, you can see there are a lot of screws, so imagine how many pieces of wood I insert in those holes. But taking me about 2 hours to do everything, cut the small piece of wood, put the glue and hammering in the holes. But for this reason, I'm sure that in the future the screw tight very well in this new base of wood and permit me to have a very strong surface. Here you can see the small piece of wood and the glue. And it's time today to sand my table here because it's completely ruined. There is a lot of chips here on the border, so I need to sand, color and paint again all the stuff. You can see here it's completely ruined. Just here you can see it's quite not good condition, so I have time to fix all this horrible stuff, and the paint is gone, so I need to sand barwood and varnish again. Another work for this winter. The first thing to do is trim the end of the table, the doors, by half a millimeter in order to eliminate the imperfection. The time has come to sand the surface just cut, to remove all the marks of the circular saw. And here we must be very careful not to create imperfection on the wood. For this I use a straight piece of wood wrapped with 120 grit paper to prevent the surface from having bumps. And when you varnish you see very well those bumps, so maximum attention and be very careful. Cut the door bathroom. And here you can see the cut of the door. And we start again to sand perfectly to take out all the marks of the circular saw. This is a very delicate task to do. Right now I'm making a small recess of about 3 mm from one length of 20 mm, where a piece of polished 316 stainless steel will be inserted, so it will protect the door from knock when closing. This point was very subject to ruin. The wood had several imperfections. In this way I safeguard the profile of the door. Time to color the door and reduce those sun bleached spots. I used the Epiphany mahogany color. To obtain accompanying effects of the color, you must use a sponge soaked with the color, following the vein of the wood. You must spread it with a lot of attention, avoiding making lines, which will be clearly visible once painted. It's a work somewhat delicate, so you need to pay attention when you do it. Now I can say the door is quite very same color in all the length. I need to use a white rag to take out the excess of color, and as you can see in the video, you can see a very smooth surface. You can see Franco looking me if I do the correct job and explain me how to do the next step. Okay, this is finished, all ready to go varnish. My door will be new. Welcome back to my channel. I'm here in the boat. It's the 31st of January 2023. I have some stuff to do inside here. For sure I need to varnish some part inside the board, because in the last 2 years working inside and I make some chips on the wood inside the board, and you know I don't like. I want that my board will be perfect. I know some of you disagree with this one, but okay, don't worry, I will do it. For this reason I already sand some part inside here where I make the damage, and I need to varnish with Epiphany's matte varnish. For this reason I need to sand with 320 grit sandpaper and put some putty to cover the bump that I did in the last year. I will show you in a moment. You can see here I make a bump here. You can see here the putty that is already dry, I need to sand. And also here you can see the putty here, I need to sand. And also I need to sand this part of the table that the previous varnish doesn't work very well. I prefer to use the mono component. You can see the door are already at the top deck because I need to varnish again, and also the part of the table that already is in the Franco factory or top deck. So now I need to sand this here and this here, prepare everything with the tape, because in the next day I will varnish. I need to use some heat warmer inside here because it's about 0 degrees, It's very cold now to put the varnish, need a lot of time to dry, so it's not the perfect time to varnish, but I prepare everything for the next week that probably temperature rise, and I start with more heater inside here to varnish and prepare the board for the summer. Okay, we start now to sand. 320 grit. Okay, it's good work. Okay, now it's flat, completely flat. You can't have the feeling of the bump because the putty completely flat the bump. Perfect. Now we go in the other side. Okay, I need to clean with diluent monobros, and of course, and this is for match the color of the mahogany. Just there you can see it's more white, and need to match with this one, Epiphanes. And after that, tape all around here and prepare everything for varnish. When you varnish, the first things to do after sanding is cleaning very well. And now a small part of color to match. You don't need too much of this one. You can see a little, you can see is just better, but we need more to give the warmth of the mahogany. You can see here. You can see this little difference. Okay, I already mask and prepare all the stuff to varnish this piece of wood because it was not in good condition. And now it's time to prepare everything just around with the tape, preparing for the new varnish task. Tape all the surface is the most consuming time, so you spend a lot of time to do this one. So take your time to do. You have to pour the paint into a container diluted with 5% single component thinner from the same factory and mix very well. You also need to use a soft brush that leaves the paint with the right thickness. This paint tends to dilate and mask the line that form. Is an excellent paint. It's recommended from Hallberg Rassy. You can buy it at Hallberg Rassy Parts shop, web shop. Painting is an art. You need to use very well your brush and be very delicate, and of course you need to have very clean surface. And remember to clean and clean many times to avoid problem in the varnish. You need to pay attention and you need to go very slow to flow very well the varnish on the wood. So guys, this is the result of all winter works. You already see all set up, all finished, and this is the table that I show in the previous shots. You can see I cut completely here, and I have a very nice smooth surface, no more bumps or chips on the wood. You can see here it's completely varnished, and now the color start to be very nice. Here you can see no more bumps and chips. The varnish Epiphanes work very well, give a nice and smooth surface, and also all the part there you can see there is no more sign of bumps, and I paint everywhere. We go to the toilet. I installed a new piece of stuff buy from Hallberg Rassy Parts. for the towels and for my stuff for washing. This is the sink. All is Epifane paint. Also this one. But more important, this is the toilet door. You can see here, this is the part that I work on the top touch to prepare this piece of metal to insert in the end of the door. Why? The problem is this one. You can see it touch any times here, and this protect the door from this, so I will avoid more bumps in this side of the door that I already cut. I already paint with Epiphanes color, and after that I varnish. So the door is quite perfect now, and I have the protection here to avoid touch here and make disaster. I also install the paper support. I install another support there, always both from Hallberg Rassy Parts. With the protection from the sun, with this curtain here, and all this is varnished by hand from myself, and I fix any type of problem with this fantastic varnish. Remember, details are very important to get a very nice view of your board. And this is my power plant. This is the Pico control battery. I'm charging the battery, 10 days remaining. I have all the drying. I have the solar input, autopilot, instruments, refrigerator. Now it sucks about 0.29 amperes. This is the charging part of the board. Also this one. This is my speaker, the control of the lights, and this is the electric panel with all the stuff I need. I install also this piece of brass because I avoid to ruin when I move the cover of the engine. Sometimes I hit here and completely damage the piece of wood, so I put this one to protect it. My galley, and here we are, all finished, all set, all perfect.